It's working.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, it's nice to meet you. Do you like being called Josh or Joshua better?
I don't care as long as you don't call me late for dinner.
Sweet. Josh, thanks for making time to be on Dope Nostalgia today. I really appreciate that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, let me shed some light on the situation. I'm just at
Great.
home,
That's
uh,
cool.
chilling. I am painting. This is what I do. I paint
Oh, that's fantastic.
like waves and surfers and stuff. Yeah, yeah. I'm so super psyched on it. It's like
Wow.
I really figured it out. Like I figured out a way to tie in my whole background and upbringing and everything into something that I'm really passionate about. Oh, I even got a Chris Cornell one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
very talented. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just um I taught myself everything I know, including how to read and write and all that. And
Mm.
I never set any limitations on myself and just kind of assumed in a really weird narcissistic way that I was entitled to just step on stage and do whatever. Like I never felt intimidated or weirded out. It
Mm.
was like, give me the mic, let me go for it, and yeah, had a great time.
No kidding. Is your whole family musical? I know
Uh,
that you're from a very
well,
famous family of surfing legacy.
yes, yes, yes.
So,
Well, I shouldn't laugh. My brother Israel was world champ. My brother Jonathan was essentially world champ. I mean, they invested a lot into surfing, and my brother Israel's foundation for autism, Surfers Healing, has been giving back uh, through surfing for
hmm.
the last 25 years in a really fundamental way. And I'm very proud of my brothers for that. Um, but yeah, our mom was an opera singer and a total performer and just an amazing woman, just an absolute amazing woman. Sadly, we lost her last year, but I mean, she was 86 years old. So I mean, what an amazing woman, and she really shared her love and her passion for music with us. And from 0 years old, she was she could sing like a mofo. So I was treated to like Ella Fitzgerald type tones, beautiful tones.
Wow.
Ever since I was a little kid. So I was super psyched on music my whole life, and also drawing, sketching, and envisioning like art stuff, like visual arts. I was just what I did my whole life. I never once thought like, oh well, I should be a certified public accountant or whatever.
Mm.
And to this day I'm horrible at everything else, and I suck at life. But then if on certain things I rip, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I'm really having a lot of fun being a dad. And I have a beautiful 14-year-old son and an amazing 12-year-old daughter. And I live through them. They're amazing, and I'm so happy. But for me to fully live, I have to be myself.
Mm.
And to be myself, I have to be engaged with the music. I can't just be a lame. I can't. I've done so much with music, and I've invested so much of my life. And when people say, "Oh, I've played every rat hole from here to Czechoslovakia," like I've actually done that. Like I was playing a shithole on the fucking Danube, and like it was so rad, and I'm so blessed to have had those experiences, and also blessed to have cared about the eminence of the rock heritage that I was a part of, and being
Mm.
psyched to open up for Lenny Kravitz, or somebody that I really love, like Tripping Daisy, or um I mean, we opened for the Rolling Stones. That was like our real big, like, kind of we've arrived type moment. We were like, my brother Adam and I were like, what the French toast is going on here?
It's like you can't believe this is your life. That this is really happening.
It was absolutely ridiculous. We were in the we were, but like I said, I had a pink like cockatiel hairdo. I was wearing a white aloha shirt with like pink. I was super into Manson at the time. So lame, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and unfortunately, that whole situation was very much um driven by industry success and the smell of industry, like acumen, like somehow like we knew what we were doing, especially my brother Adam really got people to believe in his approach and his, I mean, music is a business, and he was like, he could confront those guys that were like super gnarly like business dudes, and he could really engage them in a way where they felt like, he wasn't just the dude, you know what I mean? He was really good at it, and I was proud of him for that. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, everything blew up. But yeah, the Flies was really fun. It was really cool.
Now the success have got you where I want to. Now that's something I'm sure you've talked about many times, but I was reading the wiki and it says the song is about a desperate attempt to pick up women in bars.
Yes.
That
It was. That's true. It's loosely based on our former tour manager, road manager, whatever, our friend John Bevilacqua, who was, he was giving it all he had. Like he didn't have all of the blessings that everyone else did, but he was trying 10 times harder, and he was funny. And my brother Adam was like just kind of lampooning his amazing effort and his inability to be disappointed by countless failure. And he was a really funny guy, but thinking back on it, it was kind of mean. We were kind of mean.
well, how does he feel about? Are you still talking to him to this day?
That fool? No, of course not. Um, but yeah, we were a little bit mean. I was kind of full of myself. I was like, I went on the radio and would like talk shit on other bands and stuff, which is totally lame. But I thought I was so cool, and I thought I had such good taste about everything, and da da da. And really, I just needed to be on like antidepressants. It wasn't like I had such a good insight into everything. I was just sad. So thankfully, I am out of that negative kind of mindset and more focused on the things that excite me, and focusing on the music that inspires me, and being less of an asshole.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you're doing much better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. I really am.
I don't know much about surfing because I'm a landlocked person. I'm up in Canada in like the prairies.
Okay.
So I've always really been interested in like beginning surfer tips. Like if I
Yeah.
go out to the ocean, what are things that you should never do when you get out there?
Number one thing is never turn your back on the ocean.
Yeah.
Because the ocean can be very sudden. And also, I would say, I was a surf instructor my whole life. So I'm like, I've taught a lot of people how to surf. I've taught like, famous people, rich people, blah, blah, blah. I did it my whole life. So I'm like a 7th level cabana boy. I know exactly how to like angle the umbrella for the wind, and I can take you out surfing even if you've never been surfing, and it's a really cool skill to have. So anyway, I would tell you this: definitely go surfing in some place where you're visibly in a beginner place,
Mm.
right? Number one. Number two, that the lifeguard has a visual of you, and that you're like on the inside, which is, not catching the wave before it's broken, but more when it reforms, and you're right there in front of the lifeguard. You'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And then as far as the form of the whole thing, really the best thing that I could say, and one of the things that I told my surf students was that the yoga pose called the cobra, where
Mm.
you're like kind of like holding your upper body up, but your lower body is like your hips are pinned to the floor kind of deal.
Mhm.
That is for sure the deal for learning how to do the pop-up, because the pop-up in surfing is kind of a little bit hard for some people. And the
Mhm.
pop-up is like when you catch the wave and then you get to your feet,
Mhm.
and it can be a lot for, depending upon your skill level and your whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, surfing is, I got my Kaha hat on. This
Nice.
is the Rel Sun, Queen of Kaha. Yeah, I'm very much leaning into my whole surf heritage thing, and very excited about being able to be a part of that culture and that community. I love those guys. I love the history of it all, and I'm really grateful that my dad had such a kind of a cool vision of investing so much of our lives into the sport of surfing, and just what that meant as far as like placing me in a zone where, I don't know, it was kind of like he kind of forced me to, he aligned me onto a path that I'm very grateful for. And I guess that's why I named my kid after him. But
Oh, nice.
yeah, he was stoked on that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great places to learn how to surf. Hawaii, the Beach Boys at Waikiki, that's the number one best thing you could ever do.
Mm.
And they've been doing it since the turn of the century. So
Yeah.
they definitely know what they're doing.
Where's your favorite place to go for like an experienced surfer?
I'm not an experienced surfer. My brothers made me push like first time surfers my whole life while they were out surfing and being good.
Oh.
So I'm in the state of like perpetual cookdom. Like I'll never be a good surfer. I can teach anyone how to surf, but I'm more of like just a squibber. I'm like a underwater, like a clam digger, like an otter. I've been called an otter, man. I'm more of a bobber and a dipper, and I'm not cool enough to be a surfer. I'm just like, with my fins on, carrying people through the ocean. But everybody's happy. Everybody loves it, and people
Yeah.
absolutely love surfing. And it's such an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be able to share that
Mm.
sport with people. I don't teach people how to surf anymore because I can't physically. I can't. It's too hard. But I definitely, need to get more back out in the water. And recently we performed and had a proper show with my new band StarZero, and we had a really nice show at this place. It was like a proper like club show, and everyone was up at the stage with their hands up, and it was like super fun. So I went a little bit crazy, like my normal kind of deal that I
Nice.
do. I'm really into Ozzy Osbourne as like a model for my performance, and so I went crazy and I just lost all my breath, and I kicked the mic cable out and I fell over and I just made a total fool of myself. Nobody knew, right? Nobody could tell, but inside I was just dying and just like wheezing, and just, it was sad. I literally at one point said, I'm too old for this shit. Like I can't, like
Oh,
it's
no.
hot. Like it's so hot. What are people thinking? Like, but at the same time, it was so great and so gratifying. And to number one thing for me is like I've been in bands you know, on and off since I was like 13 years old. And actually, one of the dudes I'm in this band with, we were in a band with when we were 16. So there's a lot of brotherhood and deep brotherhood and respect in this band. But
Nice.
we were, you know, I've been doing this for forever, and I've had a lot of different scenarios, and sometimes you're like, yeah dude, this is totally cool. Evil reggae, it's like so cool, it's like reggae but all dark and goth, and people are like, I don't know, Josh, it's kind of, I don't know. Like, no, seriously, this is super cool. It's just like my other stuff. It's like, you know, Soundgarden, fucking Alice in Chains, but it's all electronic, beep boop boop. No, Josh, I don't know. I don't know, Josh, I don't know, buddy. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's a good seed meets the good earth, and all of a sudden it's fucking Electric Funeral again. And you know, the music speaks for itself. The music does the talking. You don't have to flap about making excuses about bullshit. And you know, I'm playing, the principal writer in the band along with me is this dude named James O'Brien, and he's from England, and which is a good sign when it comes to rock music. And he's just he's an amazing guitar player, very much along the lines of like a Kurt Cobain. And I'm, you know, I was really moved by the Seattle sound when I was younger, but I was already involved in it. Our band sounded like that. Our band, Jesus Chrysler, back in the day. Well, the first time I heard Alice in Chains, my buddy's older brother put up the headphones on me, and I was frying on mushrooms, and he put on Facelift, and I was like, holy shit. He goes, it sounds like your band. And I was like, whoa. And it did. It's all that, all the guttural, you know, screaming and all that stuff. I enjoyed, and in the Flies, it was totally different. It was like, you know, a completely other facet of what I am interested in as far as music, because my musical tastes are really wide. Like I could go from like Japanese, like crazy, like art rock, like weird fucking Ryuichi Sakamoto, to like all of a sudden be listening to Pantera or Slayer, or then in the next moment be listening to, you know, Glenn Gould and the Goldberg variations, and then you know, something from Pakistan and Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and you know, I mean, it's fucking, it's ridiculous. And I love music, and I have to have it when I paint. So I'm constantly listening to this shit, and I've blown out all of my favorites. So now I'm on new shit, weird shit that like I never really paid attention to. And some of it is okay. Like Duran Duran didn't really age well. Like, you know, Depeche Mode did, definitely. And
Right.
that's one you can definitely reach back into. The Cult, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, you know, Rage Against the Machine. I always kind of had a little bit of some kind of R&B or urban influence in my personal style. You know, whether it was singing like the blues. I mean, even the blues is black music. So, I mean, you know, I always felt like I was conceived of something between like Stevie Wonder and, you know, I mean, even Sam Cooke and, gosh, you know, Philip Bailey, you know, there's so much R&B and so much like singing. And so, yeah, the Jafaican thing, it was like, I call it Jafaican because obviously I'm not Jamaican, right? But you know, I am a Jew, which actually technically gives me the right to do that, because there's this whole like, you know, Queen of Sheba deal and blah blah blah, Solomon. I got a tattoo, but anyway. that was from being involved with the Black Flies sunglass brand, and working with those cats. I was like recovering from a heavy duty drug overdose, and I was just like in the back, shipping and handling, stuff like that. And the bands and the music and the musicians that were kind of coalescing around Black Flies and the style and the energy and the punk rock kind of sensibility that they had was like Korn was a big one, which I was not a fan of. But Sublime was a huge one, which I was a big fan of, because I had already played music with Brad. He was very kind and very encouraging. When we played together in like 1991, he told me, "Oh wow, Josh, you sound like Ozzy. Black Sabbath is, he was totally stoked on Black Sabbath." And so I felt like, and I had a relationship with Brad, and I have a relationship with Troy, and my brother Jonathan was a big part of supporting them in the beginning, and they love the Paskowitz family, and I felt like I was kind of bequeathed with the rightfulness of like to do that, you know what I mean? And Bradley had passed, and everyone was kind of being like fake Bradleys everywhere, and my brother Adam was playing with his band in Park City, Utah. And his manager at the time was this woman named Michelle. I forget her last name, but she was the actual Michelle from the Guns N' Roses song. And we were playing this like, I don't know, it's a bunch of like resort fucking punkers, like, like just total kooks. And they were giving my brother Adam some shit. And he came up to me with tears in his eyes, and he's like, "Josh, you got to take the mic. This is fucked up. I can't deal with this." And I was like, "Okay." And I started doing, the Bradley shtick. I was like, I sang like DJ and a couple other things. Anyway, we turned the whole thing around from like, it was a way more relatable sound. And the manager was like, "Josh has to be in the band." So I was like, my brother was pissed. It was kind of like weird. And I kind of just like totally just like ingratiated myself in there, like kind of like a sleazy little slug. I just kind of like kind of like an octopus. I just got around there and just ended up. And my brother was great because he wasn't having it. He wanted to be the lead singer, and he was over my bullshit. And he kept me kind of locked away from all the business and the publishing and the money making and the everything. But when we were like playing, because we did great at radio, and then we would play these radio festivals, and that put us like way back in the lineup because we were number one. And we would open up for like really, really good stars in front of gigantic crowds. And when I say gigantic, I mean 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 77,000 was the biggest one we ever did. So when you're a 77,000 person crowd is a living, breathing, like a city, and it makes a sound, and it's like really scary. It's very, very scary. Shit shakes, and you see people just dissolve, You see mofos shooting heroin, you see people puking in the corner. You see people like just like having like imposter syndrome so bad they don't even know what their own name is. And no, literally, they have to change their identity to get on stage. Like, no, I'm Marilyn Manson now, or I'm somebody, you know what I mean? It's totally fake. I could give excuse my language. I don't know if you're allowed to curse.
Go ahead.
But seriously, I could give a fuck about any of that shit. I grew up in the streets. I grew up in the jungle. I had fucking rabies when I was 12. I'm a fucking animal. So I was like the gimp that they would like release from the dungeon, and I would go up there and fully confront that beast like I was born to do it. Like I had no compunction whatsoever, and it would go straight onto the railing and fucking just get it. And I made sure that it was total mayhem, chaos, fences breaking, fucking absolute, just total destruction. Because it was very easy, because we had kind of like, my brother Adam and I, when we're both singing, he can sing like a mofo. And when we're both singing and I'm scatting and rapping, and singing and rhyming and fucking harmonizing and doing all that shit, it's a thing. It's really a thing. So yeah, it was a great pleasure to be able to be a part of that in that moment. Unfortunately, we couldn't really make it all work out, because it was a shell game thing. You know what I mean? It was like, oh no, I'm the singer. No, you're the singer. No, we're both the singer. No, I'm the singer and you're the roadie. And then it was all of a sudden, I was like, wait a second, I don't even have money to pay my bills, but I'm like the main dude. Like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, totally iced out of all the everything. But then, when I left the band, I got some pretty good offers, like, just a bunch, actually not that great, but the dude from Linkin Park was like the guy, Don Gilmore, who invented Linkin Park. He loved the Flies, and he actually invented Linkin Park partially as with the Flies being the concept of it's, a singer and a rapper or whatever. I was never a rapper. I always loved hip hop and everything, but I never thought I could be a rapper because it's just too much. Anyway, he was like, he wanted me to be the rapper. And I was like, no can do. I'll be the screamer dude. I'll be the singer dude, because I want to be a singer. But I just didn't want to have to be that dude with he acts like he's playing the guitar and he says like 4 words a song. Fuck that. I'm not into that. I'm more, after that, I just went solo and went on my own deal and wrote a bunch of weird songs and got like a little bit of a development deal from Island Records. Worked with Chris Goss. He had Ian Asbury in the studio. He hated it. He told me, bro, this doesn't sound evil at all. What are you doing? And I was like, you're right. Fuck. Evil reggae sucks. And it was funny. It was a great experience. I got to play with some great cats. I got to open up for the Jeff Buckley the Jeff Buckley documentary was in LA, and they had a concert, and I got to sing there, and Mary Guibert was there, and she was she gave me a standing ovation, and she told me, you can sing my son's music anytime. And so stuff like that was like, I felt like, I have participated in this. Oh, also I did that thing with Chris Goss. That was super cool. I was on a Masters of Reality record, which is Masters is like the desert, the Caius and Queens of the Stone Age and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Chris Goss is like the godfather of all that. And I was able to be on a Masters of Reality record with like Mark Lanigan and just, Josh Homme and amazing artists. And I felt like, well, you know what? I did that and that's cool. And, the whole music industry changed. The entire concept of what music meant changed. And for me, I saw the logos getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the artists getting sadder and sadder and sadder. Yeah. And then when Chris Cornell passed, I was dealing with a lot of stuff myself, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I really rejected that whole thing and just said, I'm going to try to carry the torch. I can sing like a freak. Like, I have no problem. You want to get into a singing contest, anyone in the world, I'll bring it right now. That fool with the fucking on TikTok with the red beard or whatever, all that, bring it. I'm totally not afraid. So I have that. but I also feel like that role of like the strong male lead in rock, it's been supported by Eddie Vedder and Anthony Kiedis and homie from Foo Fighters,
Dave.
Dave. It's a few guys. I mean, they've held up the whole fucking thing,
Yeah.
and for like 20 years, you know, just a few dudes. Like, I think maybe they need a little help. Like maybe, you know, like it would be like fine for us to open up for like the Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatever. That would be, I could do that. I mean, I have the confidence to do that. I might go out there and make a complete fucking idiot of myself, but every step of the way, I'll be totally confident. It's a sickness. It's a fucking sickness. I can't help it. It's terrible. It's terrible. But anyway, yeah. So I'm very excited to be playing music again. And then somewhere in all of that, I started painting and, you know, learned how to commercially exist in the world. Like, you know, as a Paskowitz, you know, we didn't know anything about money or finances or, you know, living in society or whatever. So, you know, I just had to figure out a way to support myself and my family. And I've always done it through, you know, creative means. So now things are going much better with the painting and everything. And I'm able to put some energy into playing music again. So I'm super excited to share the StarZero stuff with everyone. We were produced by a guy named Cameron Webb, who is a dude who did mostly notable for the Motorhead. And so he's a really like serious, hardcore, old school rock, like iconic producer. He did, especially in our area. Like I live in Orange County, California, and down here, like NoFX, Pennywise, Long Beach Sub All Star, stuff like that is very, it's very popular, and he did all that. So,
wow.
Yeah, he's kind of like the top dude down here. I would say it's pretty safe to say. And he you know, his work with Motorhead was really amazing, and he actually has Lemmy's ashes. So we were like, we felt like Lemmy was kind of like our patron saint as we recorded these 6 songs with Cameron, and he kicked our butts. Like he totally took all my confidence and just rammed it right back down my throat. And said was like he really made us raise our level, you know. And one cool thing was that he kind of enabled me to dip into a little bit of the Jafakin and the other aspects of the vocals that I do, and kind of took me off the chain as far as like how narrow creatively we wanted to have this band, like width of creative spectrum, and kind of blew it wide open. So you know, it really helps like when one of the crew is like a legendary fucking warlord. It really helps. It really helps, because you're like, is this cool? And they're like, let me see. Yes. And then you're like, perfect. And then, or they're like, no, it's not really cool. And then you're like, well, what would make it cool? And they're like, what if you did it like that? And then you do it. And then they're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then you know that it's cool. And you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, is it good?
It feels like it's justified, you know, like
100%.
And I feel like the best producers are the ones that will, like, you know, work you hard to get what they want out of you, but they still make you sound like the best you are, you know, like, so they get all those aspects out of you, like you said, the different styles and everything that makes you.
That's exactly right. He made me, he found out what was cool about what I do uniquely, and then invested into that, and then basically made, you know, was tremendously gratifying to me to think that like I could satisfy somehow. You know, we had been pursuing him for a long time. I never hoided him. My guitar player was like obsessed with his shit, and he was like, no, we got to get Cameron Webb. We got to get Cameron Webb. And then when we finally started working with him, I kind of started to understand when I went over, like, when I started to understand how deep his, you know, he was in the room when they produced, you know, some of the big Limp Bizkit tracks. He was, you know, he was turning knobs on records that sold millions and millions and millions of copies. Like he definitely knows what the fuck he's talking about. So it was just so freeing. It's like, you know, and I think we're all in the right place now, like as far as, you know, being 48 and like not even giving a fuck about anything. I don't drink or do any, I don't want any glamour or anything. I'm married. I'm not going to get laid. I'm not going to get drunk. I'm not going to do drugs. I would rather die than do drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to go to bed at like 10 o'clock. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to do really a lot of this stuff, but I've found that it's super helpful and mentally healthy for me. And I've found that by keeping music as part of who I am, it makes every other part of who I am better. And that's just a testament to the magic of music and how meaningful and wonderful it is. And, you know, rock music is really inspiring and has a lot of people that really love rock music and swear by it and feel like, you know, rock music is part of their identity, and me being one of them. And, you know, with Cameron's help, us being able to, you know, even our 6-song EP, just having that has, you know, really opened up a tremendous amount of doors for us. And the music is speaking for itself. It's really not, we don't have to say shit. I get a call every day like, oh, we got this going on, that going on, you know, and it's really just the music. It's just people hear the music and they like it. So I'm very grateful for that.
We got to play a clip of StarZero on the show. We got to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the single that we're gonna release, the single on December 10th.
Oh, excellent.
So I'll send it to you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, this will be coming out probably in November, so it would be good timing.
All right, great. I love Canada. You know, we went back and forth across Canada twice. And I played everywhere I played in Saskatoon. I played everywhere. I played on the slopes of the frickin' Kananaskis, fucking in the BC, and then all the way in Montreal on the other side.
Wow.
And then so I went cross country 4 fucking times.
In a van? In a bus?
Oh no, we were in a proper bus at that time.
Oh, good.
And it was wild, let me tell you.
That is so hard to tour Canada, you know, even in a bus, because it's just so fucking big.
It was big and it was hard and it was amazing. And we had so much fun. It was such wonderful audiences. And we were on tour with Eve 6 at the time and they were blowing up. And it was such a great time and such appreciative audiences. And I have so many friends there, I think, from our whole relationship with BMG and everything. I would love to go back to Canada and, you know, rock out again there, because I feel like we could really do it.
Anytime, let's do it.
All right.
When you're ready, let me know. I'll help you out here in Edmonton. Find you. We got the venues.
No problem. Actually, we are ready. We're ready to rock. And now with the EP and the single, and we're going back in the studio to create the full record. It's great because before we didn't know exactly what we were doing. We were just putting ourselves out there because we wanted to make a record before we died, and we wanted it to reflect who we were, period. We had no ambition. But then when we started getting into the music and like making that kind of music live again, then people got really excited. And now that it's at the place that it is, and we're looking toward making a record and really, promoting the music and like expressing the music on the largest possible stage we can. It's fucking exciting. It's really exciting, and really I'm really grateful for everyone's kindness, and I just am really eager to get back on stage and do what I think I do the best. But like I said, I'm an arrogant bastard. I got fucking narcissistic personalities
In the best way.
Well, thank you
I
so
love
much.
that. Oh, it's
was
been a pleasure getting to know you, and you're very inspiring. It was a good conversation.
well,
Especially, you're strong. You survived rabies. What the fuck?
yeah, I did. I got those 14 shots in the spine. That was gnarly. Yeah, my upbringing was wild. I really can't even tell you all the harrowing adventures that I had. But you know, I'm excited to now be in this part of my life where I can reflect on that stuff and share some of the wonderful lessons that I've learned in all that, and especially creatively, because you know how the arts touch people in a way that other stuff just can't. You know, so to be able to have my creative output rooted in painting and music and performance and all that stuff, it's just a blessing. I'm just so grateful. And
that's
so
a perfect word.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it was amazing. And thanks for sharing your art with us too.
Oh yeah, that's sick, huh?
Yeah. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, I'll let you know when this is out. I'll give you a tag on the social media. And if you can send me a copy of the single, that'd be fantastic.
I'm definitely going to. It's just going to be a digital file, but I will send it.
Perfect.
To you for sure.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much.
You take care, Joshua.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Aloha to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.